we're coming down to the last of our questions that I received in from various places. A lot of questions were answered already through our conversation. So ideally, this was another one. Not a mom, but I did have a client who's a single father. And he's a single father with 2 minor girls. And when I was, the one area I haven't been licensed in is estate planning or as an attorney, but I have been licensed in life and health insurance as well as investment. And when I was doing life insurance, I had a single father who was getting life insurance, and he knew he needed, because we talked about getting his estate plan and everything put into place, because he wanted to sign his minor children as the beneficiary. And I was just kind of giving him the pros and cons to that and really trying to get him to identify someone who would be responsible for his kids in case something happened to him. He had a hard time trying to identify a person, but he was like, okay, maybe my mom or my sister. And I really don't know what that was about, but he's like, okay, maybe. But then his biggest issue was he would not want them to be have control over the kids' money. And so if there is a situation like that, for example, if there's a mom out there she's really all by herself, but she knows she needs to have someone care for her kids and have someone to take over the money, are there options for that mom when she's completing her estate plan? What are some of the things that she could think about if she really doesn't have, or if she thinks she doesn't have anyone that she can have take care of her kids, or if they can take care of her kids, but she doesn't want them to have control over the money?
That's a good question, and that's one of the good benefits of doing your own estate planning is that you can set it up for your own individual needs. If you don't want the guardian of your children to also have access to the money, you can separate those out. Oftentimes, it's a lot easier because the person who is taking care of the child knows their needs and knows what they need the money for. But if, God bless their soul, grandma is a wonderful, caregiver, but is horrible financially, or, whoever you choose as a guardian is just not going to be good with the financials, which sometimes, people just don't have it in their, skill set to be good with the finances. You can choose another person, and it can be a friend, it can be a family member, to take care of the finances for the child until they come of age, whatever age you set up for them. The third option is, usually we have this as a last option, but some people want it this way, is that, banks will act as corporate trustees if you have a trust. And that means that you hire them. Yes, you do pay them a fee, but they will be the trustees for the money, and they will take care of it. Sometimes and this can happen not only in this situation, where the guardian is maybe not good with finances, but also if you're going to have family disputes between children, adult children, and you know that they're going to be arguing, and you don't want to have just one child be, having to deal with all the stress. So oftentimes, I've had clients who say, okay, well, we're going to have a corporate trustee, and we'll pay them. If you have a smaller estate, you may have to look a little harder to find someone who will work with your smaller asset base and see what the fees are. I know if you have a larger one, it's obviously a lot easier because there's more money involved and more fees for the banks. But there are people, and there may be options out there. But again, I think usually it's best to, if you have a smaller estate, not to be paying those fees out, but stick with someone you know, but then maybe just separate out who is the trustee for the property versus the guardian. And so you can do it that way as well.
Oh, okay, great. Well, at least they know they have options. And you did mention something I just lost. Oh, what advice would you give to a mom with adult children? Because I think sometimes moms think that, oh, my kids are grown. I don't need all of that, or I don't need to do that because my kids know and they know what to do. They would know what I want. They're grown. They can handle it. I personally don't agree with that wholeheartedly. I still think as your children, they need some instruction, some direction. But for that mom who feels like her kids are grown, and that she may not need this. As an attorney and someone who has experience and seen a variety of different situations, what would you say to that mom?
Well, I mean, this happens a lot, and it happens often. Well, Jimmy knows everything that I want done. We've talked about it. Well, what if you have other children and they don't believe Jimmy when he's saying that this is what she wanted? So if you put it in writing, you get rid of putting a lot of stress and problems on your child who you wanted to take care of this. There can be honest discrepancies between what you told one person and then later on you changed your mind and you told another child this. So again, that can create a lot of rifts. I mean, when people are grieving and you're dealing with money, it's just not a good combination. So I don't recommend it. But again, if you don't have an estate plan and it's over $100,000, regardless of what you told anyone in your family or how they're going to deal with it, you're going to be going through probate. So number one thing is to avoid probate. And don't forget that your estate will include any real estate, any retirement savings, life insurance proceeds may be included in that. So it's pretty easy to get over the $100,000 mark if you have any of those assets. You would also be forcing your family to pay attorney's fees, court costs, paying for a bond, delayed administration of your estate, which is at least 6 months and potentially years in probate if you are over the $100,000 mark. And then if you don't set up who will make your medical and financial decisions while you're still alive, but unable to do that for yourself, and your family disagrees, they're again going to be going to court, because how are they going to settle that decision? And that's a huge decision to make, mom's care or dad's care. And you don't want to be creating those rifts in your family. You can smooth all of this over and just state what you want and who you want to be doing it for you. You're simply giving up your right to say what you want to happen by not setting it all up ahead of time. So why wouldn't you take that opportunity to do it now? You really want to, I'm sure you love your children, you want to protect your children, so just don't even create these possibilities for rifts between them. It's just, I'm sure you've all heard stories about things going bad after, mom or dad died between the children. So this can go a really, really long way to avoiding all of that happening in your family.
Yeah, and that made me think about it, and I didn't think about it till now to you when you were talking about it. One of my best friends, she's not in the state of Illinois, but her mother is very sick, and we've been friends for years. Her mother is like a second mom to me, and she's a very young woman. She's not even 60 years old yet, and she's on disability. And so when I talk to my girlfriend, she always tells me, Mom is really deteriorating. We may have to put her in a home pretty soon because she may not be able to take care of herself. Well, it's just her and her older brother. They're a year apart. And she was telling me that her brother just was not interested in hearing what Mom had to say. Like when Mom talks about, I want y'all to cremate me. I don't want this. He does not want to hear. He is just really not prepared to hear that. I mean, that's his mom. He's the oldest. He's the only boy. He wasn't ready to hear that. And I told her, I said, I know that Mom has her beneficiary on her paperwork and she has, everything together. I said, but you really need her to create a will and put it in writing. I said, because at the end of the day, if something is going on and Mom is in the hospital, your brother is going to fight tooth and nail for her to stay alive. And she has a do not resuscitate. She doesn't want to be resuscitated. And I don't think she filled out that paperwork, but she told them. And so I told her that she really needs to have her mother put that in writing, because at the end of the day, it's going to be her voice. He doesn't want to hear your voice say that Mom doesn't want this. He's not going to hear that. He's going to hear you telling him something else. So, and that speaks to Mom still having that voice speaking to that child. And they're grown. I mean, we're in our 40s. And he was not. I mean, this is a real recent situation. But he did eventually they did have an aunt that passed, and he saw all the turmoil that was going on in the family with that. And he did say, we need to talk, and I need to know what's going on. But to think if he never came to her senses, that could be a real bad situation, him listening to his sister and not really wanting to hear that, as opposed to having it come from his mom in writing and being able to know.
That brings up a really good point, is a lot of people don't want to have these conversations. It is difficult to talk about. But, you know, even if you go ahead and do the paperwork and say you have a DNR, you have this living will, and people could be completely shocked by it when it comes out, you know, at the appropriate time. And so I say, you know, if you have this stuff, discuss it with your family. You know, you certainly don't want to shock them when it's already a stressful time. You know, tell them, make it open and known, and give them copies of your documents. A lot of times people are like, okay, I have my power of attorney done, so I'm all set, but they don't give it to the person who is their agent. Or, you know, they have a copy in your car. And now there's even an app that you can have it on your phone. iPhone has an app where you can include all of that in there. So, you know, you have to make it available, and you have to make it known. It's not just a secret document that you hide away in your safe that they find 3 months after you passed away, which is too late.
Right.
Discussions. It happens. They find it years later, and they find out mom wanted to be cremated, and they went and buried her, you know, so that doesn't help.
Right, and that's why communication is the number one step in creating our mom's master plan, because we have to identify that communication strategy. If, you know, talking doesn't work, because I had a wife to tell me, she was a wife, and she was like, when she went through the program, I did it in the telecourse, and she said, well, I was talking to my husband, and he didn't want to hear about it. He didn't want to talk about it. And so I told her, I said, but that doesn't mean to stop.
Yeah.
So I told her, you complete your plan and then share it with him, because at the end of the day, he needs to know that you have something and that where to find it. So if the the verbal communication doesn't work, right. So if the verbal communication doesn't work, still complete the document, complete the paperwork, and let them know, because maybe after you complete it and they see everything that you've done and everything that you had to put together, then they'll be like, oh, well, maybe we need to talk about this. Or if at the least they know that you have something in place, and if something happens, they will know where to go to get it. But she was like, her husband just was not trying to hear that. And most men don't. And it's going to be difficult. So this, again, is how mom, with visionary leaders, we can kind of foresee certain things as we know our family and kind of prepare them for that. So this has just been an amazing call, lots of good information, and I have some things that I need to go and look at and think about as well. But for our listening audience, I just want them to know, if you are in the state of Illinois and you still have questions, or we went through something and that just triggered more questions, please reach out to an attorney, an estate planning attorney. If you don't have one, reach out to Allison, and Allison will give you her information. So, Allison, if you will go ahead and tell them how they can reach you. Another question was, what are the fees associated with putting a will and trust together? And I know it varies from attorney to attorney, but what I can say about Allison is that there are no hidden costs. So she can give you access to her website. You can sit down and talk to her and really find out what her fees are, but it may be different from someone else's. So definitely reach out to her personally, and have a conversation, or you know, talk to her, and if there's anything, your situation that wasn't covered here, maybe she will have some good suggestions or advice for you. So Allison, would you give them your information and how they can contact you?
Oh, sure. Absolutely. My name is Allison Chihosh. The last name is spelled Cychos, as in Sam, Z as in zebra. And my website is www.amclegal.net. That's A as in Allison, M as in Marie, C as in Chihosh, legal.net. My phone number is 630-590-3640. I do offer free estate plan reviews, so if you have one right now and you just want to see if it needs updating, I do not charge for that. I do a free consultation for an hour, so on the phone or in person. So if you have questions, just let me know. And then also, my fees are all on the website. I charge flat fees for all of my estate plans, so they're not hourly. So you can call me and as many changes or revisions as you need, within a reasonable period of time, and we can make sure that the documents are perfect for you before you sign them. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. And feel free to give me a call if you have any questions.
Okay, great. And again, when we're talking about Mom's Master Plan, it is a comprehensive document. The estate planning is really a portion of it, but it is a big portion, and that's why I wanted you all to listen and hear a professional, someone that is licensed in the field, someone that has practiced in the field, because just think about it. If we get to the savings and the investing and you have all that money and you have not identified the instructions on how that should be divvied up, you have worked hard probably for nothing, because then you're going to have people fighting over your money. It's going to be spent trying to correct things, and, it can really upset a family. So that's why the number one step in Mom's Master Plan is communication, and the number two step is estate planning. It's that written instruction where it's legalized and people can actually see it. So if you are interested in going through our e-course, which is a self-paced program, you can visit our website at Money Mom Inc., MoneyMomic.com. You can email me. The email is mom, M-O-M, at MoneyMomInc, MoneyMominc.com. And you visit the website, you can see we also have what we call a VIP session. It is a one-on-one session where I provide the binder, the fill-in-the-blank forms where you can list out all your thoughts, everything that you will want ahead of time. And this is something that you have that you can present and put in front of your estate planning attorney so that they know that you have already thought through some of this, you already have some ideas, and they're not starting from a clean palette. They already know that you have done your work. Now you need to get it legalized within the state that you live in and make sure that everything is okay. So that's what Mom's Master Plan is all about, making sure that you have everything that you need for your family in the event of an emergency or before a tragedy strikes your family. And that takes you from today and tomorrow, from your estate planning protection to your financial savings and financial planning. So, if you have any questions, you want to visit the website, again, it's MoneyMomInc.com, or email mom@MoneyMomInc.com. Visit us on Facebook, like our page on Facebook, Money Mom Inc. And Allison, you have a Facebook, an AMC Facebook page, right?
Yes, it's AMC Legal. If you just search for that,
okay,
you'll find me.
Yeah, so like Allison's page, AMC Legal, on Facebook. And again, if you have any questions, if you need to contact Allison, just rewind the recording, listen to her information. Her website, amclegal.net, is a wealth of information. A wealth. I learned a lot. Before I even spoke to Allison, I learned a lot on her website. So please visit her website, call her if you have more personal questions, and reach out to me. If you reached out to me and you would like to take the course, if you haven't taken the course and you'd like to take the course, visit our website. The information about the course and the VIP session is on there. And I think that's it. But again, thank you, Allison, for joining me for this call and just helping moms to get a better understanding of why having an estate plan is so important. Letting them know that as the visionary leaders of their family, this is how you continue to care for and protect your family. So any last remarks?
Well, thank you, April. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Allison, and we will be in touch.
Okay, thank you.